Now we're due to be joined by Anna Byrom and Anna Tizard and Dr. Claire Feeley from the Practising Midwife. And we're now going to do something very, very dangerous, which is we're going to give control of this session to Anna Byrom. Hello, Anna. How are you?
Good luck.
You want to unmute yourself? Hi.
Hiya.
So
Hi.
We're going to have her hover in the background, but the next half hour is in the hands of the Practising Midwife. And I can see that, Sheena, your mother, is not there to keep you under control. So
Wow.
no doubt this will be a tremendous session. So, Anna, over to you.
Oh, thanks so much, Neil, and to everybody at the Midwifery Forum, and thank you so much as well to Sue and the fantastic team of curators for Matflix and all of the brilliant support that you offer to maternity workers and to midwives. And happy International Day of the Midwife to everybody that's here with us. Thank you so much for joining us on this bright and sunny day. And hopefully we've got people with us from around the world who are also celebrating. I'm joined today by my lovely colleague and friend and midwife, Dr. Claire Feeley, and I'm joining you from my bedroom, and we've sent the children out to play for a little bit of time, so let's see how that goes. But we're also here today to talk to you about the ways that we work to celebrate midwives and midwifery and to contribute to our important community to ensure that women and babies and families get the best possible care. So I know that, Claire, you might want to just introduce yourself, and then you were going to share your screen to get us started with this afternoon's session.
Yeah, let me share screen so I know it's working, because that would be unfortunate, wouldn't it? Is that working okay for everyone? Looks good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So it's just going into slideshow. Yay. So I don't know, Claire, do you want to introduce yourself?
I can introduce myself. Thank you, Anna. I'm just so thrilled to be sharing International Day of the Midwife with you all. But not only is it International Day of the Midwife, it's Year of the Nurse and Midwife. And as Sally Pearman said today, it's the Decade of the Midwife. So we can't get any better than the first International Day of the Midwife in this first year of the decade. So I'm super excited, and I've loved seeing social media just go off with celebrations today.
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
It's been really, really special.
Yeah, and I've put yellow on to celebrate. So that's the colour, I think, that the ICM have encouraged us to celebrate the day, because it's bright and it recognises new life and springtime. So I thought I've just quickly got ready, because it's in these unprecedented times we're working in really different ways, and actually you're not having to get dressed up that often. So thank you to everybody. What we wanted to do over the next half an hour is to focus in on the ethos and message of not just today, the International Day of the Midwife 2020, but also this year, the Year of the Midwife. We wanted to really bring to life the idea of midwives being with women, and we wanted to extend that slightly over the next 30 minutes and think about that message is not just about being with the women that we care for, but it's also about being with each other and with you, the midwives working hard, and the students at midwives working hard to support women and families. So we wanted to recognise, though, the importance of celebrating midwives, demonstrating excellent midwifery care and practice, mobilising and uniting as a community, and what better way to do that than sharing together online in this space. So we thought what we could do with this half an hour is to give you a day in a life into our lives, into the work that we do to sustain midwives through our work with All for Maternity, and also the Practising Midwife Journal and the Student Midwife Journal. So Claire's going to give you a slice of life of what it's like to be the editor-in-chief of the Practising Midwife Journal, and the work that you've done over the last 5 months to curate 5 months worth of Practising Midwife Journals. So over to you, Claire.
Thanks, Anna. Well, I think When I first started last summer, as all of you or many of you will be aware, that one of the hot topics was, and the issues that midwives on the ground were facing and women's choices were being affected, was that normal birth had become quite muddied and sullied with some very poor practice that had been come out in the wash in the UK. But it was a real challenge for midwives on the ground, particularly who are doing their best to practice under their protected title, practice midwifery. So one of the things we wanted to do to start the big celebration of Year of the Nurse and Midwife was to bring together and synthesize the enormous evidence base we've got, the international evidence base that we've got. So what we did as a team, we came together and we wrote this, what I feel is a very succinct, probably the most succinct thing I've ever written, of bringing together this international evidence around normal birth. And one of the key things that we pride ourselves at the Practising Midwife is that we can take this complex, this vast evidence base there is, and try and deliver it to midwives who are super busy working in poor resource, time poor environments in a way that they can just get that bite-sized but accurate and meaningful information that they can use in their everyday practice. So that's what we feel that we did achieve with the normal birth position statement. And also it takes us back to the basics and to the core midwifery practice, which is what the Year of the Nurse and Midwife should be celebrating. The fact that midwifery and midwives save lives. And it's within this framework and within this evidence base is how we do that and how we improve women's outcomes. So this was a key central piece of our work right at the beginning of the year to kind of launch this amazing Year of the Nurse and Midwife. But building on that and in relation to that was also Anna sourcing this amazing illustrator, Lauren Beck. And if any of you have been following us, you will have seen just the astounding images that have come from Lauren through our dialogues. I mean, Lauren has become so invested in midwifery, which is lovely. And I'm hoping you will agree with us that we just feel that these images are integral to delivering some of our key messages about the importance of midwives, importance of women, importance of birth, importance of midwifery care. And we just think that, I mean, I'm an academic writer, so I like to write, and I like writing academically, but there is something that just bypasses the intellect when you get someone who can capture the essence of midwifery through imagery like this. It stirs the emotions. And if you ever need to explain to a friend or a family member what a midwife does, then you can show them these images because it just captures it just so perfectly. So that's something that I think has been a real buzz of this year with the Practising Midwife, and I think everyone's been enjoying it on social media. So our latest issue, May issue, Finding Our Strength, and obviously that is around connecting to the utter world, upside down world that we're all facing with the COVID pandemic from midwifery point of view, birthing women's point of view. And this issue was really inspired by trying to keep our strength through the communities, even though that's now in an unusual way where we're all doing it through online, telecommunications, friends who don't like phone calls are now having to phone call, and etc. So it really is about communities. But the other thing that I think was also very important is for us at the Practising Midwife is that maternity care it can't be ignored. And maternity care is still going on despite the COVID pandemic. Of course, huge changes have been made to how services have been delivered. But we don't want to move so far away from core midwifery topics or underserved topics. For example, in our May issue, we've got this incredible article on resilience, but not the everyday resilience of it's up to you as the midwife to manage your own stress. But Michelle Tant really pushes those boundaries and makes us think about this in a wider context, an organisational responsibility as opposed to just an individual responsibility. And we've really felt that keeping our content around some of these key topics has actually been really, really important, as well as addressing midwives' concerns around COVID and service changes and things like that. One of the key topics, maternal mental health, which is what we've got in May issue. I mean, that's been very much a neglected area of maternity services over the last, well, forever, but over the last few years, that's started to change a little bit thanks to some of the amazing campaigners and activists that are out there. But this article here just starts to bring to light an underserved area of midwifery and maternity care, as well as we've also offered, we're still maintaining, still publishing the research that's going on. So we've got amazing work from Susan Crowther and her team around rural midwifery in Scotland, literature review on shoulder dysplasia management. So these are all still key and important issues that we still need to be capturing, we still need to be disseminating, we still need to be talking about, because all of these things are still happening regardless of COVID and regardless of the pandemic. But what is really exciting is for me to share with you what's coming up. So for the first time in the Practising Midwife history, I hope I'm right on saying that, in July and August, we have got a whole issue dedicated, a special issue dedicated to environmental sustainability. It has been guest edited by the amazing Lorna Davies, and she's curated this jam-packed issue, which is all on environmental sustainability. Now, we've all seen just in the last 6 months, by ignoring environmental issues, what it's done. We've had those awful fires in Australia, we've had the worst storms in the UK, we've had the COVID crisis, and all of those can be linked to environmental issues. But you might wonder, how does that link to maternity care? So you're going to have to get the July-August issue and find out, because all of these articles are obviously connected to environmental sustainability within the context of maternity care. The other things that we've got upcoming and building on the incredible blog that went out, I think it was 2 weeks ago, by Ebony Lynch and our illustrator, and you can see that in the first picture on the left here. Ebony wrote this amazing blog, top 10 tips for optimizing the birth room, optimizing normal birth. So what we want to do is use that as a foundation and do an 11-month advancing practice series. Now, although it's in our advancing practice section, in many ways is getting back to basics. It's linking from our position statement in January, build on this work from Ebony, and we're going to do this amazing 11-month issue, which is really going to help us reconnect and ground and anchor ourselves into the core essence of midwifery, clinical practice and philosophy. The other exciting series that we've got is going to be around BAME issues, where Black women are 5 times more likely to be dying during childbirth or the childbirth continuum. And those statistics have shockingly got worse in the UK over the last several Embraces reports. So it is an issue that no maternity worker can be ignoring. So we don't want to ignore it, we want to elevate it, and we want to bring those issues to the fore. So we'll be running an 8-part series on that come September as well. Lots of other things, but they're the key ones. So we just wanted to give you a little snapshot of some of what the articles look like and how we're connecting this amazing imagery to the key essence of maternity-informed knowledge, maternity-informed or midwifery, informed practice. And we've got this amazing article that we published by Dennis Walsh, Continuity of Carer. And we know services have changed radically in the last couple of months in coping with the COVID. But again, we firmly believe that we must keep on and keep maintaining our grounding in what we know works and what benefits women the most. So this just gives you a little snapshot of one of those articles. I just wanted to talk just a little minute about the key principles of the Practising Midwife. So hopefully it might give you an insight to where we're coming from, and it might encourage you to come write for us, because I'm always looking for writers. So one of our key things is inclusivity. So we really pay attention to not only the language that we use, the imagery that we're using. We're definitely keen to reach out to new authors, always trying to make new connections and raising the profile of underrepresented women and midwives. and that's really important to us. So wherever we've got blind spots, we hope between us, we are picking those up from each other and reminding each other that doesn't work, let's do that better. We do pride ourselves in supportive, constructive feedback for all authors. So if you're new to writing, we are super happy and spend a lot of time with new writers in supporting their work. So that might mean going through, sending me or Hannah Tizard a draft, and we can offer some constructive feedback. And if it takes 2 or 3 cycles to do that, to get it exactly how you want it and how you feel happy with it, then we will do that. Absolutely fine, because we are super keen to level out the playing field, so to speak, when it comes to knowledge dissemination. And even our really experienced, prolific academics, you know, they can arrange a meeting with us and we can have a good brainstorm if they've got kind of a loose, vague idea, not quite sure where to go with it, and then we can have a good old chat and just help refine that idea. And we really hope to make the process of publication as smooth as possible. And we've made changes to our website, and it's in electronic form now and that kind of thing. For those publishing with us primary research articles, then we do have a robust and ethical peer review process. And again, I'm going to come back to raising the profile of underserved aspects of maternity care. Specifically, we don't shy away from political hot potatoes, as you can tell. But yet we're also mindful of being solution focused. We don't believe in just raising the problem or as an issue. We also very much want to draw our readers and draw our midwives and draw our authors to thinking about, okay, so that's not working very well here, but what solutions can we find? What solutions can we offer? Or at least start thinking about in that way forward, or a way forward, should I say. But I think also that one of the key principles with us is we are always trying to stay fresh. We're always challenge ourselves. We're keeping on our toes. We do not rest on our laurels. And I think hopefully that comes through as we continually challenge ourselves to do better and be better. And if we've made a mistake, we'll rectify it wherever and however we can. That's my sales pitch for seeking new submissions. We are always excited to receive new submissions. And like I say, if you go onto the website here, you can get mine or Hannah's email address, and we're really happy just to chat through before you even get to the writing stage, if that's what you would prefer. And I'm going to hand back over to Anna now to share the rest of our wonderful.
How lovely when the focus of this whole webinar series today has been about leadership, midwifery leadership, and to see your leadership as the editor-in-chief has been amazing. Thank you so much for that insight. It's really brilliant to see what's ahead, and hopefully gives lots of people the courage they need to make some submissions. Alongside the Practising Midwife, we obviously have our All for Maternity platform, learning platform, that's basically the online home for the Practising Midwife Journal and the Student Midwife Journal. But we also have a whole series of support for practising midwives and student midwives, maternity support workers and doulas, anyone really caring for women and families. And we've put that together in a learning, sharing and caring area. So we have in our learning zone over 50 e-learn modules, the interactive modules where you can watch videos and get certificates that you can download for your revalidation and also for your own development and portfolios. And we also have podcasts with maternity experts from around the world. And we also have our nurture zone and our caring zone, where you can decompress a little bit and read one of our novels, maternity related novels, or poetry, and seek support and solace for your practice. But we also have, obviously, alongside all of these resources, the Student Midwife Journal. So unfortunately, Hannah couldn't actually be here today. So if we want to just jump onto the next slide, Claire, you'll be able to see that Hannah Tizard is our managing editor of the Student Midwife Journal, and she works really hard with our incredible student editorial team who lead and curate the content So headed up with the wonderful, recently Ali and Vari, and just recently taken over by Alicia Burnett. So we're really excited that we have a very strong and active community of student midwives supporting us to derive this content. And what's really exciting coming up in our next issue that we are wanting to share a snippet to, if you want to go on to the next slide, you'll see that we've got our COVID-19 special issue that's just currently all of our student editors are working hard on developing that content at the moment. And I just wanted to send out a really big thank you to all of our editors and everybody that contributes, all our authors and all of our members at the Practising Midwife. Our student body are fantastic and an important part of our maternity workforce now. So we would like you to, if you'd like to join the Practising Midwife and join All for Maternity to gain access to these journals, we've got 6 months free for any member, any new member. You'll be able to use Support 2020 at the checkout, and that will get you 50% off for any online annual membership. So Claire, I just wanted to ask you some questions now. What's it been like in the last sort of 5-10 minutes we've got together now? What it's been like for you to be the editor-in-chief of the Practising Midwife journal?
Probably one of the most daunting things I've done. I just, as you know, just emerged from the PhD, and by the end of a PhD, you kind of feel you know a little bit about something. And then I, you know, took this opportunity, and I felt so lost, having never expected to do anything like this. But it is one of the most exciting things, even though it was really daunting and really scary. And especially, you know, the platform that you had created, that was also even more daunting. You know, it wasn't a new project. It was going into a really established project, was also quite scary. But it's just, I don't know, it's very hard to describe what it's like. Exciting is probably one of the things. And I think probably what is the most satisfying is being approached by someone who's feeling a bit nervous about submitting and watching them grow just with a little bit of support, and suddenly, you know, their article of the month, or they've done something, they've produced something they never thought perhaps they would or were able of getting it published. So I think that is just super satisfying. But I think also the fact that we don't shy away from these big hot topics, we're ready to embrace them, and I just feel that just fits with my values so well. So, and
how do you think that the I suppose the platform that we have and the editorial process and the content, how do you feel that could be of benefit to obviously frontline midwives, student midwives, people working during this crisis and during these challenging times? What do you feel are the benefits of you know, engaging with some of this content or contributing actually to this content?
Well, yeah, I mean, from absorbing the information, I think one of the best things, and something that I recognise more and more in my own academic work, just how important it is to be able to translate. There's very jargony, technical, whole different language that researchers love, and it is necessary. For certain things, it is necessary to have this type of language. But what is very unique, and I think really important, is that you midwives on the ground, you are rushing off your feet, you might have 5 minutes. What you need is someone to be able to explain the key messages of the research, but in a platform that you can trust, because obviously we can get information anywhere. It's whether it's actually correct or not. And I think that's probably one of the best parts of Practising Midwife, is being able to just absorb it in a way that is engaging. Because, you know, I fully recognise that a lot of you out there don't enjoy reading dense academic jargon the way I do. But that's because I'm strange, so that's fine.
And in terms of your well-being, thinking about sort of navigating the challenges that we're facing, you know, we've been talking a little bit today, haven't we, together about the challenges of being, you know, a practicing midwife, whether that's an academic practicing midwife or working out in with women and families. We're still continuing in our work alongside, for like some of us, having to homeschool children, take care of sick family members or face illness ourselves. What do you have any tips of self-care tips that you've been using to help you sort of navigate some of these issues?
I'm probably quite inconsistent with self-care, but when I do it, one of my things, even from when my son was very young, because I'm a single mum, was actually I mean, it's not so difficult now he's older, but it's actually getting up 20 minutes before he got up to have a cup of tea on my own and just to have a bit of headspace before the day went crazy. So I've been doing that again, and I've been doing that consistently. And for me, getting outside for that walk, and actually, and for some of you who've got young children, this might not be possible, but for me, because mine's older now, he can sit on his own, but actually just having that 40 minutes on my own to clear my head, but walk it off when you're starting to feel that stress, when it's getting to here and you think, oh, being out, and for me, I think it is specifically outside. It's not just any old exercise we do. I think it's something about being in nature as well that really, really helps.
Yeah, I think it's good. And have you got any questions or anything that you'd like to contribute? We've just got a few more minutes left, 3 more minutes left, that maybe you've got any questions. Obviously, people will be able to respond to us on the Midwifery Forum Facebook page. So if people have got specific questions, honestly, feel free to get in touch with us. We're always happy to connect and communicate.
So what do you think your vision is? What's your vision, Anna, for us at All for Maternity and these midwives?
I think what we'd always started with, you know, I was the editor before becoming the publisher, and taking over the Practising Midwife was obviously quite a humbling experience, and it's been, like you said, a real learning journey, and often really difficult to navigate quite new territory, especially when you see yourself as a clinical midwife that's there with women. Finding a new space for yourself is always really challenging. I had it first when I went into education in 2010, and then this was another step into unknown territory. And what I've done is to try and stay close to what the heart of my philosophy is, and that's being with women and families. And what we try to do with the ethos and philosophy of All for Maternity is keep women and families at the heart of everything we do and conceive. But around that is the woman, is the midwife and those caring for the woman and her family. And we feel really strongly that we want to sustain, support and encourage midwives, maternity support workers, doulas, student midwives, so that they can care for women effectively. So everything we do is about trying to generate information and resources to sustain midwives in their daily practice. And that's kind of anything that we're looking for is that we make it easy to learn, fun to learn, engaging, and also enjoyable. And we build a community. So it's not just about reading something, but it's about building a relationship, connecting. And so I feel really fortunate to be working really closely with you, with Hannah Tizard, and with our wider team, you know, Jill Byrom, my lovely auntie, and Jane Purvey, and all of the brilliant team at Creative World, linking in with Neil Stewart and his team, and feeling like we build a community. And that's what makes us stronger. And, you know, I'd like to leave with the biggest message that I once heard actually at the International Confederation of Midwives Conference. Toyin, basically, one of the lead keynotes, said, you know, an African proverb is, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And I feel that that's the ethos that we work towards at the All for Maternity and the Practising Midwife, that it's about being a platform for others to celebrate everybody working hard to care for women and families. So I hope you've enjoyed this little half an hour with Claire and I, and we're really sorry that Hannah Tizard couldn't be here. She's the wonderful curator of Blood to Baby, an amazing resource to support professionals and women around optimal cord clamping. She also helps to manage the Student Midwife Journal and is hard working to create an amazing new resource called All for Birth for women and families, supported by Walida. We're really excited to launch that soon. So if you've got any questions for us, please do get in touch. Claire shared the submission area, but if you want to connect with us on social media, we're there for you. So I think I'm going to be handing back over now to the safe hands of Sue and the team at Midwifery Forum. And thank you so much for all of your support, everybody at the Midwifery Forum, for supporting the Practising Midwife and the Student Midwife Journal. We really value your contributions to maternity services and care. Thank you. And just, I suppose it leaves us to say happy International Day of the Midwife 2020. Sending all our love to all of those hardworking midwives, student midwives out in the community.
In the year of the nurse and midwife, on the International Day of the Midwife, the team at All for Maternity, the Practising Midwife and the Student Midwife Journal want to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful celebration and to thank you for all that you do. We're committed to supporting you always by providing evidence-based information and knowledge in an easy-to-access format, because we know just how precious your time is. Our resources are curated by experts and passionate, inspirational individuals who want to share their expertise to enhance care for mothers and babies globally. Our aim to reduce inequality is achieved by our ability to gift subscriptions to others. And our Nurture Zone, e-learn modules, blogcasts, podcasts are just a press of a button away, always. All for Maternity is owned and crafted by midwives, for midwives and student midwives everywhere.
Think of it, everyone.
It's so good. So awesome. Oh wow, look at this future. Ooh, share some articles.
There's videos as well.
Oh wow.
Thanks for watching this video from the Maternity and Midwifery Forum. For more expert opinion and analysis, hit the button below to subscribe.